evening, and welcome to the Reston Community Center Board of Governors meeting for May 2024. Meeting will now come to order. First order of business is the approval of the agenda.
So moved. Second. You'll notice a couple.
There are a couple of corrections.
Just a couple minor edits.
It's been moved and seconded. All those in favor?
Aye.
Those opposed? Next order of business is approval of the April 1st, auspicious day, April 1st board minutes.
So moved. Second.
It's been moved and seconded. All those in favor? Aye. Those opposed? Next order of business is the approval of the April 1st board actions.
So moved.
Second.
Been moved and seconded. All those in favor?
Aye.
Those opposed? Next order of business is the chair's remarks. Gee. I had several different things I wanted to speak on, but there's tree pollen.
What?
That takes the forefront in my mind. And I did, who was the nice lady about trees? Susan, what was that?
Claudia Thompson.
No, you're talking
Claudia
about the
Thompson
speaker.
Deal?
You're talking about the speaker?
Mhm.
Oh,
Yeah.
Susan Samard.
Susan, I know it was
Yeah.
Susan something. Yes.
Suzanne Samard.
But, yeah, and because the tree pollen was really affecting me, I decided to find out why. So I did some research and found out that we all now know because of her presentation that there are male and female trees.
Yeah.
And the female trees bud and give us flowers. The male trees just
They fling themselves.
And they allow the wind to carry it. Also found out that with city planners, there are more male trees than female trees because they're easier to clean up after. So I always like to know, why am I suffering and who do I blame? So it's the city planners.
City planners.
City planners. And, but I wanted to do tree. The Joyce Kilmer.
I think that I shall never see a thing as lovely as a tree.
You're gonna be too
Any better than that?
Just the
It was
way.
short. What are you doing? It's to the point. Thank you so much.
You know, it's actually a song too.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, you can actually sing it. Okay, so they have recited the poem to you, so we won't belabor that point. The next order of business is the introduction of visitors. You're up.
Again, hello. My name is Levon Williams. I use he, him pronouns. I am a local community member, been in Reston for roughly about 2 years. And I have been trying to be intentional about being more involved in the local community this year, so I've been trying to get a feel for kind of what's happening. I work as a nonprofit consultant, so I've been attending a few different board meetings just to get a feel for just the pulse of where Reston is right now with a lot of different things. So that's what's brought me here tonight.
Very good.
Glad to have you.
Glad to have you. Be careful what you ask for.
What was it? Our last little visitor was
A
a
scout.
Boy Scout. And at the end of the meeting, he said, "You didn't have any disagreements."
That's what he was anticipating.
Wanted to fight.
You wanted to
Yeah.
fight.
That's a
Well,
sad
well,
comment
thank you,
about
and
civic
you-
He thought it would be
duty.
longer.
Yeah, he thought
So
it
much
would be
longer.
longer. Yeah. We're getting out of here.
We're just fighting for
Revenue. Anyway.
Well, but welcome to Reston. I've been here 2 years. I've been here 57 years.
I watched the documentary that you were a part of and learned a little bit about you, so, yep.
Yeah, seems like, yeah, this is
Seems
my
like
hometown
yesterday.
now. You know?
Yeah.
Bob used to say that I was born here, and now I feel like I was. Okay, the next order of business is the committee reports. The April 1st Long Range Planning Committee meeting. Mr. Boogie?
Well, the Long Range Planning Committee met on April the 1st at 7 o'clock. There were 2 items on the agenda. The first was the exciting feature of updating the board pages of the policy and user manual. I will not take you through the word-by-word dissertation that went on in that meeting, but all of the changes were fully accepted by the board and approved. And the second thing on the agenda that night was a presentation about a new and exciting project, the Artistic Solar Panel Project that was brought to us by the Department of Economic Initiatives that asked RCC to be involved in this project. It's a very exciting project for the community where they'll be able to sit outside on the plaza and recharge their devices. And we are very, very happy to have that happen. And those were the only 2 things, and with that, we adjourn.
And the only thing I would suggest in the written notes, in the header and in the title, that we insert the word planning after long range. Just the wrong name of the committee.
Yes.
Okay.
This is what passes for disagreement on
Yeah.
our board.
I just reinsert that.
Contract
Right.
receipt.
That's fine.
Boy Scout.
That's fine.
But just because that's part of the written stuff, and we're
Yes.
approving the written part.
Oh, absolutely.
And also that was changed on the front.
Yeah, I didn't catch it on
Okay, thank you, Mr. Bowie. Next, Mr. Bowie, the May 6th Personnel Committee meeting.
The Personnel Committee met this evening, May 6th. We immediately went into closed session. We discussed the items on the agenda, and got everything accomplished that we needed to get accomplished, and we adjourned.
That's really efficient.
Beauty of executive session,
That's
isn't it?
exactly right.
Not
Right.
too informative
Good for
for
you.
the rest of the board who
Right.
are not on that.
We're at brevity.
No.
We'll meet later.
Yeah.
And next, also tonight, we had a Finance Committee meeting.
So, 2 main topics. First, the first overall sketch of the fiscal year 26 budget draft, which is certainly high level and very directional based on rough draft information that will be updated later on. Some of the highlights, first of all, the tax number that's in there is an old tax number, and it's not the one that we'll actually be running from. Well, actually, all those numbers will be updated at the beginning of next calendar year. So we'll have that coming. We are in a transition phase for our public information officer, and some of the budget stuff, a little bit of money is being shifted around, and roles are being refactored a little bit to fulfill that role. And so that's one of the pieces that's going on. A lot of the operating stuff is pretty consistent. One of the big things that looks like a drop, we have a big drop in the board operating line, but that's just because we're not doing the survey every year, right? We only do that every 5 years. And so that goes away, and that's where that normally appears. We do have some increased sponsorship costs for various sponsorships around the community, and that shows up in the media line item. So you'll see that looks like that's going up because some of the sponsorship stuff is more expensive. On the capital side, basically the heat exchanger, the air conditioner for the locker rooms in the natatorium need to be replaced. And so that's one thing. Also an external electrical box is being replaced on the building. And I think also in that time frame, we'll be purchasing risers for various
The
community.
risers are gonna be a carryover item.
Oh, that'll be a carryover.
We'll try to get them this summer so that they're
Got
ready
it.
for next season.
And so those risers will be used by various community groups, most notably the symphony orchestra that is providing the soundtrack to this meeting, as well as the Western Chorale will be using these high-quality risers that will be easier for our staff to move around and maintain, and hopefully will last longer than whatever they would have bought if they were trying to do it on the cheap, because that's sort of how they run. So a bunch of
Well, they have limited resources.
they have limited resources, right, exactly. As do we, but theirs are even more limited.
Right.
And so those are some of the highlights there. And then we also got the March monthly financial report. Tax revenue still doing well, about $250,000 over projections. And interestingly, what is called interest revenue, which is really just return on investments from the sort of our piece of the county's investment pot, also about $250,000, which is really remarkable since I think we budgeted that at $15,000. So far exceeding that number. Most of the other numbers, there's some sort of timing stuff. We start getting money now for stuff that's really going to be happening next year. So there are a couple timing things, a couple savings, because we haven't been able to hire all of the personnel for which we are budgeted. But aside from that, most things are pretty well on track. Anything else that anyone wants to add to the discussion from what we had in the finance committee? Any questions? There you go. And then we'll have the written version of that report next month.
Yes.
Okay, the reports have been submitted.
I move that they be accepted.
And I would second that.
It's been moved and seconded. All those in favor?
Aye.
Those opposed? Next order of business is the board member input on activities attended since the last we were together. We'll start with Bill, who will say nothing because he wasn't here.
Well, I was going to say,
No.
I missed the last meeting because I was with my family in Florida for their spring break, and so I got a week of grandkids. And I like my daughter and her husband too.
That helps.
But since then, I've been taking a sculpture class here at the RCC with Guy Zoller. Now, most of you don't know him, but he has been teaching at the RCC for many years. And he's wonderful. Lovely to deal with, very good at what he does, and a good teacher. However, he's retiring from the RCC, moving to, is it Norfolk or Virginia Beach? One of those places down
Far
there.
away from us.
To be with family. And he and his wife are moving down there because they have a kid who is living there now, so they're going down to be close to grandkids. In any event, I just wanted to recognize him because he really has been a wonderful
It's awesome.
player in the RCC
Visual
operations
arts
on the arts.
team.
Yeah. Anyway,
All right.
It's a lovely person.
yeah.
I'd like to echo that, having been a student of Guy's for many, many classes, and enjoyed his expertise and his graciousness and patience.
And sense of humor.
And sense of humor, right. Yeah, he's a great teacher. Attended Founder's Day, and that's about it.
I saw you at Founder's Day. I attended Founder's Day. It was very chilly. So I think we sold a lot of hooded sweatshirts that day. The right colors. But I attended Founder's Day and kind of working on the rest of the historic board. So I did more behind the scenes instead of out of the front with all the special and famous people at Reston. They tried to do something new this year, and there are a lot of Reston writers or authors, and there's a lot more. They thought it was 3 or 4. There are so many that we had to set things all ways. It was very well attended, so I think that'll be a new thing that we do again next year. We also attended Beverly's concert. Now we all know how well she can sing, but I was overwhelmed. It was so good. I felt like I had a private audience with her, and your pianist, the playing back and forth was just phenomenal. So if you haven't been to one of those daytime concerts, make sure you go. But it was nice, and a couple of the songs made me teary because they were my favorite. But I thought you did a great job, Beverly. You go and say, I'm forgetting it. For someone who forgets, you did it perfectly, or you did not forget anything. But it was well attended. There were lots of people. And people surprised there in the audience, and you went way back within your acting career.
Oh, gosh.
And so it was really kind of neat. So I attended that. Then I also did the Langston Hughes Career Day. However, they didn't have me on the list, so I didn't have to present, but I tagged along with the RCC team, which was really kind of neat. I learned about some of the RCC career people, what they did in school and what they do behind the scenes. So it was really kind of neat hearing from them. And I got to meet the Langston Hughes principal. Really nice young man. So I think there'll be a lot of great things happening there. Excuse me. Oh, also I attended the nighttime. I know I'm gonna get the name wrong, so I'm not gonna say it. But the drumming from, is it Nigeria?
Ghana.
Ghana. Why I'm thinking Nigeria, from Ghana.
Tokaja Afrosa.
You did it perfect. Exactly. It was, as a percussionist, it was phenomenal to hear him and his team and the stories and just the music and the way they gathered in the audience. It was very moving. So I loved it. That was very, very exciting. Then I did a lot of things, which is along the line of our equity matters here at RCC. I did a lot of things, everything DEI. I had guest speakers coming to my class at George Mason, and one of our own people here, BB, comes and speaks to my class, and students love it. She talked about her professional career, about immigration, and every year they love it. People write about, they were like, we go out there, did she come back? But so it's always good to me. I let the experts talk on their specialty, but I have 5 different guest speakers coming on all the different issues related to equity and diversity, so it was really neat. Just want to add this again too, as most of you may or may not know, that DEI, which means diversity, equity, and inclusion, is under attack around the United States. And it was an issue before the last 4 years when something happened to George Floyd. People are like, oh, it's a new thing. It's not a new thing. It needs to continue. And I love that RCC is on the forefront in fighting, and that Fairfax is on the forefront in fighting, because this is really real. And we need to pay attention to it. So I've been doing, the work that I do is really making sense here, so I like to get out there and talk about it. And just on another side related to that, is I was out at UVA for the UVA Black Alumni Weekend, and the president of UVA was talking a lot about their DEI efforts, and how even though the Supreme Court said you cannot use race as part of how you select or elect your student body, there's ways, they tell you what you couldn't do, but they didn't tell you what you could do. So there's a lot of things that they're teaching students to do, to talk about their life experiences, to keep a diverse student body. And he said out loud, he goes, having everybody look exactly the same, come from the same place, is not exciting. And universities don't want that. So I just share that, because that's what RCC is about. And I think that's really, really important. One other thing I was going to say, I met with Levon, who's a wonderful, very talented DEI consultant. He also knows a lot about art, and I think he'll be an asset here to Reston. So I'm glad to see you here and in other places. So.
Thank you.
Yeah, thank you. And I think that's mostly what I did.
Thank you. Lots of meetings.
Lots and lots of meetings. I did attend Founders Day. I did attend with my wife, Langston Hughes. I had adult supervision that day, and did the career fair at Langston Hughes, which was a riot, and reinforced the whole notion that teachers are heroes and cannot be replaced. And you couldn't pay me enough money to do the job, that they do. They do a phenomenal job. I had a really, really good meeting last week with Matt Cummings from Reston Association to start some discussions about collaboration. Stay tuned for what that could turn out to be. We've got a wonderful, wonderful $2+ million facility opening up on Saturday at Lake Fairfax. Our partnership with the Washington Capitals and the National Hockey League and the inline skating facility is opening up at 10 o'clock on Saturday morning. So please come out. It is a full-size NHL rink that will have house leagues. It's got lights. It'll operate from 9 in the morning until 9 at night. And it's going to be a fantastic facility. And you can rent it from private parties as well for the low cost of $75 an hour.
And is there a Zamboni that works on a?
No.
If so, I would drive it. I know
This
it's
is,
not ice. I know it's not ice, but
this is
still.
inline,
I know,
roller.
but still.
But we're actually gonna have,
You
we're actually gonna have tennis ball hockey on Saturday.
got
That's gonna be the demo.
Paul, you can
Even
buff
you
the
can play
floor.
that.
How's that?
That's what I'm talking about.
So we've got that. Two other exciting projects that are going on in Reston. With my other job with the Park Authority, we have got a little over $2 million all accessible access ADA compliant playground that'll be going in at Reston North.
Wow.
Nice.
Behind the Home
Completely
Depot?
Behind the
Right.
home.
Completely
Where will
redo
it
that,
be?
pardon?
Yeah, I
At
know.
Reston
Behind the
North,
Home
behind
Depot.
Home Depot.
Oh, okay.
We're
Yeah,
gonna
that baseball
redo
field.
that.
Redo that thing.
The ball fields are not going anywhere, but we're reconstructing everything else, the
Yeah.
retaining wall, everything else is gonna be brand spanking new. It's gonna be a phenomenal, project that
That's
we will
neat.
get started on soon. And closer to your hearts, we haven't finalized the engineering on it yet, but we'll be completely redoing the basketball court at South Lakes Drive, adding
Ah.
futsal to South Lakes Drive. Futsal
Wow.
to South Lakes Drive Park. And a feature we call One Drive, which is like a soft pavement trail around the entire park. That'll be really, really cool. So engineering, we've got the cash already. Engineering's about to start. So stay tuned.
If you have to see
Lots of good
futsal,
stuff.
futsal is kind of amazing. It's like soccer, but with a ball about this big, and it's on a court that looks kind of like an Olympic handball.
It's basically a
court.
tennis court.
So,
Yeah.
but
Size of
yeah,
tennis.
so it's kind of.
Yeah. And that's all.
That's
That's
a
all.
lot. Neat.
For the park authority.
That's.
Yeah, right?
Oh, but the other cool thing we did outside of Reston, but in Hunter Mill District, we did open on Wednesday one of our resident curator projects, the Elmore House Farmhouse.
Oh, yeah.
That's completely been refurbished at Frying Pan Farm Park and in a partnership with Service Source. And it's folks with disabilities. They've opened a cafe and a place where you can just kind of just go hang out. And it's open every day, all day. So if you're at the park, you can go over there and grab lunch because we've got the picnic pavilion
Nice.
there. It was phenomenal.
Nice.
Event. So we did that on Wednesday. And it's a 30-year agreement.
That's great.
Wow, that's neat.
Let's see, I went to Founder's Day, Akaja, Afroso, and the greatest thing about, oh, by the way, when, Founder's Day, when there was a picture of Founder's Day in the Reston letter, I got the photo credit, that's right, Akaja, Afroso, what was so great about that was that one of the things that was sort of really at the center of it was recognizing appreciation for and sort of connecting with fishermen, the different types of fishermen. And when I was a kindergarten or first grade, I lived in Sierra Leone, which is 2 countries over. And I still remember the guy coming up in the VW Bug and opening up the boot, which is in the front of a Bug. And my mom would say, I want that one. And it was Barracuda lined all the way up. And because every morning, you know, he was out on the, you know, he was out there fishing barracuda from the shore.
Yeah.
And like that was just such an important part of the community. And it was so great to see, I mean, the videos that they showed, the music of course was incredible. It was absolutely phenomenal. The Y Gala, went to that. And then actually last night I went to the prom. With a
Musical.
capital T and capital P. The prom is a Reston Community Players musical. A friend of mine with whom I used to work was in the ensemble, and a student who was in the drum line with Jack was like one of the sort of lead players in there. So it was really great seeing them, and it was very good. I also I testified at the Fairfax County budget hearings for the supervisors. That was fun. And FYI, Kim Retzer is leaving South Lakes High School. She's not retiring. She's going to somewhere else in the county. She'll be working on college readiness programs or something, basically leading like the Avid stuff and whatever. So I think at the first round of interviews for her replacement will be a week from tomorrow. So they are very much in the process of identifying who it will be. Ideally, they will have someone in place before the end of June, since her last day is June 30. They want to get someone in there who's able to sort of overlap a bit. So Kim Retzer is, by my count, the longest tenured principal in South Lake's history. And so it'll be very interesting to see sort of what the next.
Longer
She
than Bruce
longer than
Butler?
Bruce?
I think she may have been there longer than Bruce, because I don't think that Bruce was there more than 8 years, and she's been there for like 12. She's been there 11 or 12. I think she's actually been there longer than Bruce was. It's rare that a principal stays at any school longer than about 7 years. They tend to, that tends to be about the.
As
and
much
she-
as it can last.
and she has been there, I know she's been there at least 11
Yeah,
years.
she came in after my kids graduated, so she came in the fall of 2011.
Yeah, so she's been there a really long time. She may be the longest, she's either first or second longest tenured principal of the county.
She's
in
been a
high school.
terrific partner.
And so it'll be interesting to see what this, what the next
Era.
era looks like.
Thank you.
That's it for me.
I have less than that. I went Founder's Day as well and enjoyed it, as I always do. And I also went, not an RCC event, an RA event, I went to the Nationals game.
Oh, nice.
We usually,
500, can you believe it?
for one day.
No,
Then they came back
Then
for
they
2
came
days
back.
now.
Yeah.
I don't know.
It really seemed as if it was worth seeing the Nationals again. Last year and the year before, I didn't have much interest. And now I'm getting more and more interested, and although they lost that game to the Dodgers, it was a reasonable game. They were competitive.
You're a competent professional team now.
Yes, yes, they seem actually like a major league team. Very unusual for them.
Past couple years have been
Are you a
tough.
fan, or are you just giving us some?
I am a fan, but I also do recognize that there are different quality of teams in
Oh, yeah.
in the major leagues. But I really enjoy baseball, and I actually have gone when they were maybe a Class AAA team. If they played Rochester, I'm not sure whether they'd win. But, so I'm a fan in that sense. But I just love going to Nats Park. It's not as nice as Camden Yards, but it's a good
It's
place.
close.
A lot closer.
Yeah.
It's easy, no beltway.
Anyway, the rest of my time was Family Matters.
This music tonight
I know
is
that
not
you know.
conducive to underscoring with it. It's very, it's agitating. Meet the Artists, I did another concert and I'm scheduled. I said they keep me alive because they scheduled me 6 months out. So I'll be here hopefully for my birthday in 6 months. I will do another concert. And it was great to have Lila there, because you can find her in a crowd. Yes, it's that laugh, yes, you know she's there. Founder's Day, and then trout fishing in America. I love them. And I've appropriated one of their songs that they wouldn't recognize if they heard it. Also, there's a group of us who get together once a month to go bowling. And we may get together more because we all bought the summer season tickets, so season pass. So we get to, yeah, you get 2 free games when you come in. So you might be bowling more. And I saw the prom also. And was the regular girl there, the lead girl? Because we saw the understudy.
Oh, really?
And I have never I was in professional theater, and I have never seen a better understudy performance,
Really?
ever. And she had little cards to remember lines, but she had all the blocking, she did all the dancing, the whole thing. She was incredible. I can't believe
That's
that
awesome.
that the girl she replaced was any better.
She was.
Okay.
I gotta defend her. I gotta defend her. She's my girl. I gotta defend her. She's my
But
girl.
that was so, it's because something happened to the regular actress on, I think, the Saturday night. So this kid went in
Huh.
Saturday and Sunday, and I saw the Sunday performance, and it was amazing. It's just, but the only problem I have with the prom is I don't understand how it was on Broadway. I think it was, except for the subject matter, it was the most pedestrian. I'm glad I wasn't reviewing it.
Yeah, there you go. There you go.
Yeah.
That's the writing, not the performance.
No, the
Oh, wait, no, this is about the writing.
performances
This is
were
about the
great,
writing.
yeah, and the writing, it was so, but it was just so
Yeah, I know.
waste. We could have given it to some high school kids, and they could have written better words. But it was one of the better performances I've seen with the play. It was really good. Okay, we've beaten that horse. Keeps trying to get up, but we won't let it. Okay, executive director's report.
Okay. Well, we continue ahead to the summer of great projects. The Energy Utilization Improvement Project purchase order has been issued. So keeping in mind this summer, the Energy Utilization Project is happening, the elevator replacement project, and if the lead times don't prevent us from doing so, we plan to replace all the office furnishings as well during the time that we're tackling all of these things. We had our annual Green Reston event in honor of Earth Day, and another really important equity programming feature that we do is that every year the AARP Tax Aid program, which is just a real beautiful program of people who have the know-how to file tax returns, helping people who do not have the know-how to file their tax returns, and that's always something to enjoy. You've all talked about Founders Day. One thing I want to remind folks about was that in honor of the 110th birthday of Bob Simon anniversary and the 10-year anniversary of the fantastic documentary film about Reston, Another Way of Living, the story of Reston, Virginia, is available for free to anyone who wants to view it on the RCC YouTube channel. It's quite a beautiful story and film, and we have our own filmmaker, Rebecca Wingert, to thank for that. We took a bus full of folks to the Philadelphia Flower Show for the first time since the pandemic, and they were ecstatic to get back to that very popular experience. We had an exhibit in April that we do every year that involves artists who are 55 years or older. We call it the Young at Heart. Art.
I see that, that's cute.
Yeah, and that, we had 47 people for that reception. It was very, very nice. And we continue to see very strong enrollment across the board in all of our program activities. We've been doing a new blog on our LinkedIn platform, and then it gets picked up and echoed on the Facebook platform for Reston Community Center. We had stories about our most recent staff award winners, Nick Bird, who won the Sharon Bulova Award, which is for administrative excellence, and Bill Parker and Sarah Alshamian were winners for outstanding performance awards. And we also had a County Connections podcast episode featuring our chair, Beverly Cosham, to celebrate RCC's 45th anniversary. That happened a few days ago, I think, and that is up and available through our Facebook or LinkedIn page. We are in the process of recruiting and hiring for this position. So if anybody's interested in leading this organization, the executive director position is open. And we are also in the process of getting a box office manager, a youth team program assistant, a community offsite events coordinator, a procurement specialist, and our network telecom analyst. So there's a lot of change going on at RCC. There's a cohort of us who are retiring, and there'll be some new and fresh faces here as a result. And then, as usual, I go to meetings, and I just love the heck out of it.
Everybody look at the reminders.
That's right.
Put it in your calendar if you plan to attend. And since we never use, it's a three-letter word we never use around here anymore, is there any continuing business?
We're all afraid to
It took a moment
Oh,
for that
by
to
the
say.
way.
But I appreciate it.
Yes, yes. We dispense with that word. Is there any new business? Okay, well, thank you very much, and thank you for joining us tonight at our meeting. You are now free to roam the county. The meeting for May 6, 2024 of the Reston Community Center Board of Governors is now officially adjourned.